Today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we have a segment that we like to call Ask the Expert. And the expert is our good friend Chris DellaPorta from Woodshed Guitar Works in beautiful, lovely, historic downtown Carlisle.
Carlisle.
That's right. So Chris was kind enough to come over and spend some time with us, and Jason's going to tell you why he's here.
So about maybe 2 weeks ago?
Yes, roughly.
I dropped off the Harley Benton double cut in, what are we calling that?
Heinz spicy brown mustard.
Heinz spicy brown mustard color. TV yellow.
Mustard burp.
That's right. It's not so much, but it's actually a pretty cool color.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. For an attempt at TV yellow, it's not bad at all, actually.
So, drop that off to Chris, and Chris is taking a week or two to look at it, play around with it, and he's here tonight to give us the rundown.
Yes.
So,
where would you like to start?
That's a good question. We should probably have thought about that before. So, last time you were here, you were doing the Firefly guitar. This isn't a comparison to that. I think we're going to keep this kind of on its own. But I think you kind of started with just like kind of some fit and finish. Then you went through. You have a checklist, right?
I do.
So why don't you start running down, and we'll interrupt you periodically.
I don't know. Kind of the same thing we did with the Firefly guitar. Kind of started with fit and finish, and if I'm going to compare apples to apples with the Firefly, and this is not a hate on the Firefly guitar whatsoever, but for a very like styled guitar in the same sort of price range ish. This is really winning the race, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Fit and finish is great. I mean, you can hate on it for not exactly being TV yellow, but I don't know why you would. The color is phenomenal. The finish work is great. It's buffed out to a beautiful high polish. All of those things that, the Firefly kind of got close to the bar, but it fell short a little bit. And this one exceeds the bar, if you ask my opinion on that.
Depending on exchange rate, $180, $30 shipping. So you're looking about $2 to $215.
Yeah.
Probably to the door.
Yeah, it's a lot of guitar. Just looks alone, it's a lot of guitar for that kind of money. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, like the fretwork on this one, again, it really wins the race as far as that up against the Firefly. I thought that was really great work on this one. You can get it right out of the box. Very playable. Without having to go back and like maybe file down some sharp fret ends or tap down some high frets here and there. None of that needed to happen with this guitar. So that's high marks for that. The piece of rosewood they're using for the fretboard they kind of dyed it a little darker on the front. Like you see on the edge here, it's a little lighter.
Because remember we said it wasn't rosewood, it looks like it.
Yes. Yeah.
I forget what we said it was.
It's probably a species of rosewood of some sort. Right. I don't exactly remember the name that it was, but nice sounding guitar from the materials it's made of. The pickup sounds pretty good. I mean, if you really wanted to swap that out, you probably could, and not be worse for wear for doing it. I thought the control cavity was as simple as it is, because it's obviously very small control cavity in this guy. Very clean, very tidy. They even went through and did shield painted it, which is kind of nice. The pots are decent. They could use, if you really wanted to, put a better pot in there, you could for not a lot of money and get a nicer taper. Even a cap would be a little bit better. But again, right out of the box, can't beat it. Hardware, as far as the tuners go, Wilkinson Deluxe tuners. They work great. They have a nice feel to them. They roll really smooth.
Look nice with the little white
kind of
plastic buttons on it too.
You really can't beat that look in a junior, which is basically what this is. The bridge, it's an inexpensive version of a wraparound bridge, but it doesn't do a bad job. Again, if you wanted to spend a little extra money and put something better on there, like per se the Tompros version, I like that one a lot. That would drop right on here. You might have to pull the studs and use the studs that come with the new one. Your choice, but high marks all around. Even the nut is better than the one that was on the Firefly, quite honestly.
Not bone.
No, not bone. And you're probably not going to get that for the dollar amount. But they didn't require any additional work. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what really were like some of the low marks as far as the Firefly goes, is you had to do extra stuff to it. This one, really, I put it up on the bench. I dialed in the height of the string on the bridge a little bit, dialed in the intonation, and we were playing it in the shop in a matter of minutes. So
really the only thing that you might have touched was intonation and
string height.
String height.
And maybe I did a little bit of a neck adjustment too, that's right. So the basic things you would probably do to a guitar right out of the box as far as, a setup is concerned.
Being shipped from Germany to the United States.
Yeah. It went on quite a ride that only needed a few tweaks.
So I know with this one I was able, you would have had it about a week earlier, but I was like, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to play it on Sunday. Now I did. There were some suspicious intonation things going on. I remember when I went to like an open D chord, I kind of had to stray away from that. I think if you go back and watch our Firefly versus Harley Benton video that we did, there's a few moments of suspiciousness there. Like Pat and I even talked about, like, I don't know, should we put this out? Like, people are gonna be like, tune your guitars,
right.
Like
we did,
like a million times.
Right.
But I was able to take it out and play it right away.
Yeah.
So
again, without anything real hateful, right out of the box. I did mess with the intonation a little bit, dialed in the saddles, moved the bridge a little bit, but nothing unreasonable. Absolutely. So I think for the money spent, without having to really add anything to the guitar, you're going to win all day long.
So this one was basically a standard setup, right? There was no extra couple things you had to do with the previous one, but this was just
tweaks, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, if you're out on the internet and you watch, there's millions of Harley Benton videos out there right now. A lot of them are overseas because that's where they're really popular. Mm-hmm. They seem to be coming to the United States a little bit more. But this is kind of what you hear in every video. These are set up nice. These are nice guitars. And I got to admit, it's kind of like the King of Tone. Everybody has on the board, but who would spend that much money for a pedal? And then you get to go, okay, this is kind of, I'm having that okay feeling, like, this is, what would you think? So for about that money, maybe a little bit more, they make like a Les Paul Gold Top. They make a, not,
their version of one,
Right. I don't know.
I'd like to see it. If it's anything anywhere near this, it's gonna be great. Again, for the money.
For the money.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm hoping they make a Firebird again.
That'd be cool.
Firebird or a V.
I'm a Firebird fan.
What else? And so bad marks? Did you have any negatives or?
I think not really negatives, but just maybe not quite as high as 100%. Like my fit and finish, I gave it a score of literally 100%. The Fretwork got 100%. Hardware, I gave it an
Fretwork
80.
got 100% from you is.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good.
Unheard of.
Yeah, this is a very playable guitar right out of the box. So hardware, I gave it like an 80% only because I think the bridge could be a little bit better. But again, for the money you're spending, this isn't bad. It's one of those things where if you really wanted to upgrade it, you could do so affordably for the money you spent for the guitar. Electronics, I gave it like a 75%, and that's really because I think they could have put a better taper pot.
Are they the smaller pots or bigger pots?
It's a full size 500K. Yeah, they're alphas, which is not a bad piece of equipment, but put a CTS in there, and I think you're probably a little bit happier. Mm-hmm. Or even get a
And he knows.
Sprinkling some beard.
Yes. You could even put a higher price wiring kit in there if you really wanted to go all out. The money you're saving on buying a guitar, you can afford.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Things. You could put like a really nice dollar,
absolutely,
Fralin.
Yeah. I'd love to hear this with
Lambertone or something, and
with
then
an upper level pickup. I think would be great. Yeah.
Upgrade the whole wiring thing and. Ripping.
And you'd be happy.
And that's what I like most about these guitars is, I want a junior, but I don't want a junior like $1,000 on a junior. Like that one song every once in a while. It's cool to be able to pull one out, but I don't want to invest. In that
because it can be big money for that kind of thing. For an occasional guitar.
But even like if you go to just like a Gibson Junior, like one of the newer ones in the last couple of years, you're looking. Some of them $800-$900, $1,000 on the used market, versus $200 to the door.
Yeah, and if you're worried about any sort of credibility, take it to a gig and jam and play it and let everybody go, what'd you spend for that? You know.
Right.
And if that's even a concern of yours, it'll be dispelled at that point. I believe. I really do.
Shameless plug on my part now. He mentioned a gig. What have you played this? His band, Roadcase, opened for Molly Hatchet this past weekend, or midweek?
Thursday night, actually.
Thursday night, that coveted Thursday night spot. What have you played this at the show?
I would, yeah. I confidently, I could have taken this out and been okay with it. Clint, our other guitar player, he's more the junior P90 guy in the band. And if I handed this to him and let him play it, I'm sure he would, as firmly rooted in the P90 thing as he is, I think he would be perfectly fine with this guitar.
No, we didn't say much about the pickup other than maybe with a nicer pickup. Your thoughts on that? And there was some discussion in general about the height of that.
I think it could be a little bit closer to the strings personally. You can buy a shim for that easily and put that in there. Other than that, raise your pull pieces up a little bit. If you really need to get a little more bite, a little more throw out of it, you can just easily do that.
And you did slightly raise those?
Just very little, yep. Yeah. Try to keep it into a reasonable range. It really depends what you're going for. We play rock, in that band in Roadcase, so we want it to be in your face as much as possible. So, we're loud. So if you want to go for that, you might want to shim it up a little bit, and put maybe an overwound P90 in it, something like that. Mm-hmm. But it's really it's owner's choice at that point, what you want it to do.
Cool. Yeah. Do we want to do? Basically, I think we could get some more sounds just on playing out. Let them. We could kind of end it, unless you have is there anything else that I think what it comes down to, $200 for a Harley Benton might not be a bad investment. Beginner guitar, or that guitar that you want to have that you didn't feel like spending $1,000 or $2,000.
Or if you got a higher end, older junior at home that you don't want to take out and get dinged up, banged up, smoked up, stolen, whatever, one of these as a working guitar would get the job done.
And we have a friend online that was looking for a kind of, he called it a beater because he didn't want to take his Les Pauls out and stuff. Right. And he was playing in a place where there was a DJ too, and so in between set breaks, everybody's coming up on stage.
And randomly people want to come up and dance with the band, and they're like, "That's great."
Yeah. This would be a good guitar to take out. Not that you want to see anything get broken or busted up or anything, but it's a milder heart attack if this falls out of the guitar stand.
Your $200 guitar falls and snaps the headstock. It's not the same as your $2,000.
I'll go buy another one.
Gotcha.
Not like
for the price of the repair on the other guitar.
Yeah. And the scream that you're going to get from maybe somebody at home about, you're going to spend what to fix what?
That's right.
You're going to buy what again?
So, I think with that, that's it for the Harley Benton today. So I keep saying, we've been really blown away by the subscriber count. What's going on with that? Thanks everybody that subscribed. Stop by Instagram, stop by Facebook, check those out. And I think with that.
Before the tagline, thanks to Chris again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's time to go over the guitar, take time to write him down on a cue card-esque type thing.
I'll forget if I
come over here on a random Monday night. He's got to go home and be like a domestic guy and move furniture, and he's getting carpet. So we appreciate a real guy living real life coming over and spending time with us. And with that, I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gears. And the expert is our good friend Chris DellaPorta from Woodshed Guitar Works, right?
Yes.
Woodshed. Woodshed Splinters.
Woodshed.
Woodshed. Maybe later I have turkey for dinner. All right, here we go.